I'm Inicia. I'm the A. And what's your name?
DeBricka Shaw. Now, my name is Brandon.
That wasn't funny. We are just a couple of folks that just would like to share all things marriage, family, and life. We have learned a lot over the years, and if we can help somebody's journey be a little easier through our transparency, then that is what we are here to do. This has been an interesting year for our family. The end of the summer, we had a loss in our family that has been an adjustment because it was a major one. And when my husband and I got married or got together, you just gonna be trying on necklaces while we, okay. Y'all, we crazy. I'm just gonna tell you that. So I just don't know what you're gonna get, and you're just gonna get the authentic
I was
us.
at my time, and you brought this camera.
Well,
and
you the
lights
one
and
said
stuff.
that we needed to start. We've been talking about doing this for a year.
1, 2.
We got to stop procrastinating in Jesus' name. So if we got to do it while you doing your necklace, then we got to do it while you doing your necklace. I got to get it in when I can. But anyway, as I was trying to say, my father-in-law passed away in August. Our children had 2 sets of grandparents, and that has just been a blessing. I know that is rare. I did not grow up with both sets of my grandparents. Did you? You didn't either,
No,
huh?
just one of each. I had a maternal grandfather and paternal grandmother.
And I just had my paternal grandparents who were amazing. And so our children really literally have had the village. My husband and I have had the village. We have excellent parents, and they are in turn excellent grandparents. And so it just has been something, you know. Our children, my son has really had a very hard time. They all have, but it has just hit him a little bit different. And so I think for me, trying to be there for everyone else, I honestly don't even know if I have dealt with my own grief, to be honest about it. And I just don't even know how, y'all. So y'all pray for me, okay? Because I'm going back to counseling next month. But Brandon, what are your thoughts on the...
There's 25 of these.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on what I just spoke of?
At 26 on that spot. I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say? Can you say that again? Now, grief has been a process. Somebody that you have been with from birth. You don't know a life without them, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. Understanding that it is the other side of love that we don't talk about much, because you only grieve what you love. Shout out to Carmel.
I am really thankful for our friends and family during this time, because what I have noticed with my husband and my son in
It needs to
particular
be longer.
is that you never know when you will be triggered. We just have had some really strong bomb behind people in our lives, holding us up, making sure we good, you know, and that have just shared certain things.
Excuse me. We have had a lot of people, but I have to give a shout out to Tracy.
Yeah.
And normally, you know, when you go through stuff, normally after about 2 weeks, people kind of fade off. Tracy's been checking in. She sends me encouraging things. Matter of fact, had another friend of mine that recently lost their father, and Thanksgiving was the first holiday without him, and I shared the same thing that Tracy had shared. I shared it with them. You have people that are really continuing to pray for you. That means a lot.
I feel like we are in a season of reaping, because a lot of times when I think of reaping and sowing, I often think about financial blessings, right? And Brandon and I have done a lot over the years for people, and I'm not saying that to pat ourselves on the back or nothing. That's just literally who we are. We were raised by encouragers and givers, and that's just, you know, what we know to do and who we know to be. And I really feel like we are being blessed and being encouraged and helped because of what we have sowed back in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like flowers and trees and these beautiful branches are just coming up in our favor.
We gotta have that outlook of this too shall pass, in terms of there is a, you know, people use them as cliches, but they actually mean a lot. The scriptures about joy coming in the morning.
Can we take a commercial break real quick? Because I have to give you a shout out, because when your dad was sick, and I'm just gonna tell him myself, I am a pistol, okay? And I know that the Lord blessed me with this here man, because I'm a blessed woman of the Lord. Brandon and I do not argue.
What? Oh,
We have
strong conversations.
And so we weren't really having a strong conversation. I really think I was having a strong conversation and you was just kind of chilling. And this just blew me away. And I was like,
man, if I did not think you were something before, talk about me. Go. In that moment, I said, well, all right now, brother.
Tell them.
so he said to me, Inicia, my dad is going to pass away. And we are going to deal with what we are going to deal with, but it is going to be temporary. And I need to know that when we come out of this, that you and I will still remain. That blessed me, and I just said, you know what? If he can have that type of outlook while he is in the middle of, and that's another thing that I experienced was the roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is sick, you know, and especially when it's someone that has kind of been dealing with things for a while, and then all of a sudden, like, you just kind of get used to them, you know, coming back, you know, getting strong again. So that part, you know, like, I felt like for a whole month we were like living on the edge of a cliff. I was like literally on pins and needles, because as a wife, I had to support my husband in a way that I have never had to support you. I like having having things the way I want them to be. And so
I need to mark this time too.
That
And she said that whatever time this is.
I why you just can't let me tell my truth? And
I'm not interrupting you. I was.
And just, but see, it's hard for me to be transparent when you keep highlighting my transparent moments. Anywho,
You all right?
as I was trying to say, where was I? Because you made me forget.
You were talking about how wonderful I am.
I was not.
You were.
I was not. I wasn't, and I literally really just forgot. What was I just talking
When she
about?
was talking about, you just so wonderful. You was just talking.
The roller coaster. And so me having to be there for you in a way where I just had to literally just kind of just be. And I've come out of being a control freak because it was just too stressful. Don't do that. I've come out of it. I have been delivered in Jesus' name. I don't care what you say. Okay, I know what the Lord has done for me.
I didn't
Okay?
say a word.
And
You know that song, If I Can't Say a Word?
why this is a serious subject? Why are we laughing? We just
Hey,
laugh at everything.
laughter is like medicine.
During that time, I don't know. I just saw a strength in you, the support you had for your mama, and I knew you was a mama's boy before. I knew that's who I had married, but
Man, you make that sound so negative.
no, I'm not making it sound negative.
Put a poll up and
I'm
answer in the
not-
comments.
I
and
didn't
say,
mean to make it sound negative, okay? I'm not saying it because the respect that he had for his mother and the way he treated his mother is
fix it.
why I got
Fix
with you.
it.
Did
Fix
I
it.
fix that?
Fix it. And the reality is, she was married to him for 49 years. So,
Mhm.
you know,
49.
that is
That's a blessing.
something that, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this, because I feel like marriage is looked upon like it's just such a bad thing, and it's just so negative that, I mean, there are some people, we actually have some friends that are really trying to do it for real. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
Through the tests, through the trials, still hanging in there.
And those are the things that's going to happen. Like, this is one of the big ones in terms of, you know, going through grief. And, you know, there's a fine line, because yes, it is my father, but it, you know, because of our family, the way that they were grafted into each other, you suffered some grief too. So you suffered a loss too. You had your own separate relationship with my father. So I had to give space for that, you know, while you giving me space. I gotta recognize that piece of it. So, you know, being able to talk about it, because I know other people go through stuff, and we can be so selfish. If you don't have a point when you can at least pump the brakes and chill out, we get selfish. It's easy for me to say, that's my daddy. That's my daddy, girl. That's easy for me to say that. But the reality is both of us going through this together, dealing with it however, you know, the best that we can. Just chronicling the journey of that. Different things are going to come up that we talk and share about. I think it is very healthy. It's kind of in vogue. People are talking about mental health, but it's very healthy. Can be cool if you need to have a third party, a therapist, professional. You got to do that. And let me just say this about that. So it may take a couple for you to, you know, have a session with and go through, you know, meeting them and seeing if you can establish a relationship with them, if they'll work for you as a therapist. But definitely do that.
Because the cat lady didn't work for you.
No, she didn't. And that was your fault. My wife told me to give this lady a chance. And she may be a very good therapist. But we didn't have nothing in common. First of all, she looked at me crazy when I said I wanted to do therapy just as routinely, you know, tune up, maybe going through something in life. She looked at me like, what? So that was a red flag. And then some of the unorthodox things that she was recommending for me, they were quite interesting. We had what's the best way I could put? We had a cultural gap.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I could say that.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you all for tuning in.
Once again, it's the A and B conversation. So see your way in.